Artblock is one of the most demotivating things about being an artist. It's super annoying, especially when you know that you want to create something. Maybe you even already have an idea, but for some reason it just won't translate onto paper or on your screen. And I've had artblock that have lasted for months, and when you pair that with needing to be consistent for algorithms, it's a vicious cycle of needing to make something but being completely unable to. So I decided to share some tips that I've used when overcoming artblock. Sometimes they work, but sometimes they don't. Probably depends on you, to be honest, but giving them a go won't hurt. I know some people won't like this, but sometimes you seriously just need to go outside and touch some grass, breathe in the fresh air, because your mind might just be stressed out and you just need to take a break for a bit, especially when you're putting pressure on yourself to draw something. It's almost like your brain is acting out of spite. With the more pressure you put on yourself, the less you're able to draw. And sometimes, unfortunately, waiting is the only way to get rid of your art block. When it comes to these types of situations, personally I usually try to draw for about 20 minutes, and if nothing comes out of those 20 minutes, I usually just give up and accept that today just isn't my day and I may as well just do something else. And you may not want to do this, but it's just how the world works sometimes. Making masterpieces is something everybody wants to do, but sometimes creating a massive goal just doesn't work out. Even if you have the most groundbreaking idea, sometimes your mind just doesn't want to do it. And that's fine. It can be frustrating. So during those times you can't create something you want to do, studying something you need to polish up on can mean you're using the time that you're not drawing on something valuable. Usually I use this time to study things like anatomy because I enjoy running away from studying perspective and backgrounds. I also find using an opposite medium to be pretty helpful. Recently I started a personal sketchbook of just studies and doodles, and I found that expanding my horizons medium-wise has really helped me experiment and leave my comfort zone a little bit. So if you're a digital artist, use some paper instead, and if you're a traditional artist, do the vice versa. This is one of my favourite ways to crawl out of art block. Music is one of the biggest inspirations for me when it comes to drawing, and if you're one of those people who make up scenarios in your head when listening to music like me, draw the scenario you make up in your head. You've literally made a composition just from listening to music, so why not make the most of it? Even if you don't have the skill level to make it happen, just try, see what comes out of it. And if it turns out looking pretty terrible, well, you know what you need to study next time. An example of this in my case is recently I saw a fan art of Madoka from Madoka Magica, and I really wanted to draw something, but I was kind of going through that phase where I was like, I don't know what to draw. My mind isn't working the way it should. So I popped some soundtracks on and off I went drawing what I wanted to, so it can work. And obviously this technique is kind of dependent on the type of person you are, because there's some psychopaths amongst us who draw in complete silence somehow, or maybe you're inspired in a different way, and that's fine. As long as you have some outside source of inspiration that you can use, then you should use that. Fandoms have always been one of my biggest inspirations personally. I draw predominantly fan art for different series, so I find that exploring different fandom spaces or shows or pretty much anything, like it could be a book or a comic or a manga or anything like that, even if you just have one character you thought looked pretty cool, then draw that character, even if you have no idea what kind of world they live in or their personality or anything like that. Just draw them because, well, if you like the design, why wouldn't you draw them? I draw from mostly my imagination because, funnily enough, fictional characters aren't just walking around and striking poses everywhere. So, as a result, when your imagination is malfunctioning and not working the way it normally does because of the incredible phenomenon of art block, you can't draw what you've thought of. So, drawing from life takes all that away. So instead, you revert back to your primal state of drawing what's in front of you. It's kind of like the monkey see, monkey do, you know. You literally just draw what's in front of you, so it takes away the crippling obligation that comes with being really creative with what you make. And again, observing and touching the grass can be a super helpful learning technique, because the more you use those big beautiful eyes, the more you will, I don't know, see the world and how things work. I don't think that's how it works. But the more you see things around you, the more inspiration you'll get overall that you might not even use in the moment. Maybe you'll be like 3 months in the future and you'll think back and be like, oh, that building that I saw a few months ago, that was pretty cool. I could use that for a composition or a piece that I'm using. So yeah, looking outside and seeing what's outside your home is pretty cool sometimes. That was really it, to be honest. I've recently come out of a pretty long art block era. Is that what you'd call it? But yeah, and I'm also kind of going through my own kind of art block right now with not knowing what to make a video about. I've sat down multiple times, made like a few scripts, and I'm like, oh, this is a terrible idea. So maybe I'm just going through a massive amount of cope right now. But yeah, if anyone watches this video and has any ideas, be my guest and save me from the huge abyss of not knowing what to do. And follow me elsewhere and on here so you don't miss out on some god-tier masterpieces, obviously. It'll make me super duper happy. So that's all. Goodbye.